Hey man, what we got going on today?
Hey, what's going on, man? We're going to be checking out the Cadillac's torque converter to see if we can get the line pressure down and get it off the line faster. Come check it out.
All right, so pull the transmission out today in order for us to get our converter charge pressure lower. We changed out our converter and got a much tighter converter in there because we were blowing through it on the big end. Well, when we went with a much tighter converter, we realized it was a lot harder for us to get up on the two-step and get the car to spool the turbo within a decent amount of time. We started looking towards our converter charge pressure readings in our data logs and realized that even with our dump valve fully open and our converter charge pressure regulator fully open, dumping as much as it could, we still had too much converter charge pressure. As soon as we would start going down the track, we were seeing upwards of 200, 230 PSI, which is not good. It's a very easy way to kill a thrust bearing in your engine. Our goal is to stick around 90 to 100 PSI. We got the transmission out, took the pump out, took the pump apart. Here in the pump is where the converter gets its charge pressure. It goes right through this port and then flows into the regulator. It was already tapped to have a set screw put in with a hole drilled in it. So what we did was we put a set screw in and we put the hole to what we felt would be appropriate for the pressure that we'd like to run. Now we'll put it back together, put it back in the transmission, and then we can retest and see how much pressure we're getting on our charge side and see if it's what we can work with. That way our charge pressure regulator and dump valve system that we run on the transmission can actually function properly and have the most amount of movement in pressure. So now at idle, with the vehicle running, everything where it should be, we put our charge pressure regulator at its max pressure, which basically closes that valve off. And then our dump valve is obviously closed. And with that and our new restrictor, we were able to achieve 120 PSI idle. And then now with our regulator all the way in the open position, which is setting 6, we were able to achieve 75 to 80 PSI. So this is our highest setting. And then this is our lowest setting. It's setting number 2. That's probably where we'll run the car. So now we have a better working range with our charge pressure. So now when we use our dump valve, it'll work more efficiently. It can give us a lot more feedback and a lot more control. Now we'll be able to use that for torque management. After we launch the car in first gear, we can allow it to dump off charge pressure to control how much power is it putting through the transmission to the tire. We may end up changing the restrictor and closing it down a little bit more to lower it down just a hair. But we're going to see how this goes. This is a huge change and should really benefit from this. This will allow us to not have that weird kind of delay or linear issue we're having after we launch the car. After we launch the car, it would just kind of flatline, and then the boost would come in hard and it would hit the tire again. So we were hitting the tire off the line, and then it would kind of unload, and then it would hit again, and this was affecting our 60-foot times and our traction. So now we should be able to hit the tire, the converter flash, and keep the power planted to the tire, as well as spooling this turbo up much quicker and getting those 60 foots down, and just having so much more control in first gear and really getting that short time down.